We are looking at quite an equitable balance between cost, technical ability and the other areas, probably more so than United Utilities has traditionally done, and that will be set out in the ITN document and the weightings for the pre-qual, obviously within the pre-qualification questionnaire.
In terms of making detail available to you, the presentation will be on the website from Monday and available for you to download. So if you miss anything, you'll have access to that. We're filming this Q&A session, and that will go onto the website next week.
For those of you who don't know, future concept of operations is a process that we're going through, a design process to actually link together all of our assets from a management information point of view, the telemetry, and actually use that to operate it in a much more proactive and interactive way rather than just being reactive. So the simple answer to the question is absolutely yes. Future concept of operations is an ongoing evolution. It will take several years to embed, and we would look that the new engineering service provider will be actively involved in those activities as we move into AMP6.
The PECS framework and the framework that MWH currently have with us as engineering service provider is current and valid for AMP5. So all work that is within the AMP5 portfolio currently remains with those. This is about AMP6, so work associated with AMP6. What we envisage happening is that we will have up to 3 engineering partners, and they are partners. We want to work in a number of different ways with those partners as appropriate to particular business drivers, project drivers, and also the outcome of this process. Clearly it will be different if we have 2 or 3 partners than if we have 1. What we envisage is a number of different scenarios. We are looking at working together in teams, in collaborative teams. Those teams may be co-located physically, but we're also open to looking at virtual co-located teams using technology. And we also anticipate that some work will be packaged and out with whoever the engineering partner is. One of the things that I really want to emphasise, we're looking at engineering partners. We want partners, not people. And what I mean by that, when someone comes to work with us in a co-located team, Joe Bloggs, we don't just want Joe Bloggs, we want Joe Bloggs and the organisation and the full might of that organisation to come with them. I hope that helps to clarify. The values in the PIN notice are based on our best estimate at the moment, which is approximately and up to £20 million per annum. So I think the value is 240. That's simply 12 years times 20 million.
I think the simple answer is we're looking at all of our assets that can be manufactured off-site, and we've already started that, and we've just completed a steel contact tank or a process for a treatment works over in Lostock. That was a £13 million scheme in this AMP that we've done as off-site manufacture. We're also looking at a number of tenders in AMP5 where we're actually specifying off-site manufacture as the primary tender submission and rather than it being a secondary submission. So we are actively encouraging and taking steps internally to look for off-site manufacture as the primary route for delivery, as well as encouraging new products to be brought to the table.
In short, yes, there will be a behavioural assessment. There'll be questions both in the invitation to negotiate around behavioural elements and also workshops around behaviours as well throughout, within the process.
I think Steve Fraser talked a little bit about this. So he explained what we're doing in Scotland and the progress that we're making. But we would also look across broader geographies for opportunities, for the right opportunities. And I think Steve's wording around that was sticking to the knitting. So doing the things that are still aligned to our core competence.
I think it's probably, not too sure whether the question's being asked from an engineering perspective or from a construction perspective, so I'll answer both of them separately. I think Teresa has already articulated that from an engineering perspective, we expect various arrangements in terms of people working with us in our own offices, as well as maybe some work packages that are competitively tendered in terms of the mini-tender process. I think in all of that, as I said earlier on, we're actively encouraging off-site manufacture as an example, so therefore we're also actively encouraging innovation as being part of the base activity. So I don't think, whether it's in an engineering context or whether it's in a construction context, that innovation will be our primary driver in terms of alternatives, rather than it being the secondary driver as it might have been traditionally. Hope that answers the question.
We will agree the incentive model as part of the ITN, and again that will be linked to whether or not we go for one partner or a number of partners up to 3.
The simple answer to that is we haven't broken it down into that level of detail on work packages, but simply we will be looking to engage those skills from this contract.
When you respond to the PQQ, you need to be able to demonstrate your ability to meet the criteria and our requirements. And broadly, if you cannot, then you may want to consider things like becoming a member of a consortium or a JV or even a subcontractor. And this is a clarification. So I talked to you about the ODU process. We issued it today. Now, that takes up to 5 days to go live. So we anticipate that you'll have a sight of that based on our current experience, usually by Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday morning. Please don't try and get a copy of the PQQ until then. We'd like you to follow. I know you're keen to see it and get a head start, and I don't blame you for that, but we want to follow the right process. We don't want to miss anybody out. So once that ODU is visible to you, click on the link. There'll be instructions there. We'll give you a password, and we'll give you access to the PQQ. And that was it for me.
Okay, I think that finalises the event then in terms of the presentations that we've seen. I think we get a really good, hopefully you get a really good idea of where the business is going to, what we're looking for from our engineering partners in the future, and we've given you some timescales on the process of what happens next. So I think from us, thanks to the team internally and the people who've helped us put this event on. Thank you for yourselves for coming along, asking some interesting questions, and we look forward to hearing from you all in response to that PQQ notice. So thank you.